Well, I would agree. Superbia, pride. Dante put it at the top, though. So at the Mount Purgatorio. You know, I would say that the human being we're a triune creature. We have a reptilian stem in evolutionary psychology. It's at the base. It's survival, fear, instincts, and then we have this midbrain, which we share with dogs. Have emotions. We've got dogs in America on Prozac because they get depressed in families that are kind of depressing. And then we have this neocortex, which is riding over these two. Now, in a traditional scheme, like Plato would have said, the whole purpose is for that rational brain to control the irascible, the concupiscent, these lower selves. And if we look at this triune self, you know, human beings do basically three things. We know things, we do things, and we make things. And this was the understanding. One of the things C.S. Lewis said that he lamented the loss of a holistic view of the world that the ancients had. The moderns have become fragmented because we've fragmented knowing, doing, and making. And that's why we were meant to know the truth, we were meant to do the good, and we were meant to make the beautiful. You know, and this is a holistic way of viewing the world. I don't think you can get a better definition than for happiness, which is what ultimately people apparently are all looking for. Happiness is the soul's conformity. It's the soul's activity in conformity with virtue. So all of our religious traditions are calling us to be virtuous. Last night we had an exercise where everybody was told to imagine the person most influencing in their lives and then imagine a quality that defined that person. There were probably about 100 people in the room maybe. Every single one of them gave a virtue, right? That was what they saw. They didn't say, oh, he went to Harvard and had a 4.0 degree, or he made $1 billion, or he invented a rocket that got us to Mars. It was compassion, humility, equanimity, love, wisdom. These are the things that really all of our societies have cultivated. And I think one of the things, we're the first human society that exploits the 7 cardinal sins. You know, other societies really saw that you need to help people get over these things. You know, we obey your thirst, you know, not control your thirst. Just do it, right?
Within the institutions, and there are many, many institutions within Islam, but from your own perspective, how is conflict dealt with within the institution?
I mean, obviously not very well right now, right? But conflict, you know, the Quran talks constantly about reconciliation. I mean, Mandela was successful because of the truth and reconciliation, the idea of bringing people together. And that is something I think that the Muslim world is grappling with. But when you look at the Muslim world today, what you're seeing is the absence of the practice of the principles of the Prophet. You're not seeing the practices. The Quran constantly says, do not go into sex, to love one another, to treat people, and all of humanity. We have a famous tradition. I've got 2 ayatollahs in the room, but we have a famous tradition from Ali that said that all of humanity can be divided into 2 types, either your fellow in religion or your peer in humanity. And the great poet Hafiz said, how would you treat others if you realized that you were all invited by the Creator to a banquet and each one was a guest? How would you treat them? You know, what right do we have to oppress other people or to denigrate or look down on other people? So institutions, we need to learn from our religions. The Catholic institution has been incredible in navigating modernity in many ways. It's survived intact for centuries. Pascal reminded us that governments don't last, and history proves that. You know, we don't know how long these governments are going to last, but if history is any indication, they won't last forever. But he said but religions do last. The institution of religion lasts. And he said the reason for that is that the ground of politics is compromising principles, but the ground of religion is principle.
So I think we really need to examine the role of the institution.